What's up, Titan Nation? Sorry about that. I was a little muted, but we're going to get ready to get this show started. And we're definitely going to be talking a lot about possibilities. We're definitely going to get into that because there is the possibility of a, potential trade. Ryan Tannehill, could definitely get traded, possibly because there is some new development from another team that could make a trade a little bit more enticing. Could definitely happen, and then um, also as you see, a certain player could possibly be available that the Tennessee Titans could go out and get to help at a particular position. So we could definitely go into that. We're definitely going to go into. We're definitely going to go into. Talking about this particular player and could the Titans actually go get him? And so we're going to definitely talk about that. Make sure y'all share this show out. Let everybody know to come on in. And we are going to get this show started in less than 60 seconds. Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody? Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody doing? Welcome in to TNT Tonight. I'm your host, Chris, aka Blue Enforcer, and we are gonna have a very a great episode tonight. We're definitely gonna have a little bit of fun. We're definitely gonna talk about some possibilities, and I'm going to put out a question to everybody as we put this show out. And the question, of course, is gonna end up being in regards to Ryan Tannehill or DeAndre Hopkins. We're definitely going to talk about that, and we're going to definitely get into that a little bit more. But the first thing I need everybody to do is make sure you go ahead, come on into the show. If you haven't already, everybody, as you come on in, please do hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that like button and definitely and then put a like to the show. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed to the show, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and then go ahead and ring the bell and hit all on your notifications, so that way when I go live, you will know. Turn your notifications on, hit all, so when I go live, you will know that I am live and kicking. And also, if you're not able to check it out here, or you have to leave and come back, also you can listen to the audio on wherever you get your podcast from, either Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. I will be on there as well. That will be uploaded either tonight, usually right after the show, or the very next day. It'll be on there, so you could definitely listen in if you missed anything. And everything. And then last but not least, the Titans fan cruise is happening. You can definitely put in your deposits now. I know spots are filling up. I'm trying to see if I'm going to be able to go myself. So I'm definitely trying to see if I could be on that cruise as well, and definitely have some fun with all of you. So I'm definitely going to try to definitely see about that myself. But the Titan fan cruise is definitely coming next year to Mexico around Super Bowl weekend. So definitely get your coins up for that. and we'll definitely have a very good time. But Titans of Truth is here again. Make sure y'all follow the pages, whether it's whether it's the TNT Enforcers page on Facebook, whether it is the Instagram page at Titans _in_ truth, or if it is on Twitter at TNT Blue Enforcer. You can follow any of those pages. I would say follow all of those pages, and then you'll be up to date on every Titans of Truth episode. If there's some breaking news and I'm able to put it out, I can put it out on those pages as well. Definitely make sure y'all get down on the Facebook page, definitely, because I know I post more on the Facebook page than anywhere else. So we're definitely going to go ahead and get right into everything. And first off, now I'm going to put this question in your mind. Do not answer this question just yet, but this is the question that we're going to have on our mind. What would be most likely to happen? We're going to come back to this in a little bit, and I'm going to get your answers on this. What would be more likely to happen? The Titans signing DeAndre Hopkins or Tannehill getting traded? And I'm going to explain to you why I asked this question. So we're going to get to that in just a bit. But the reason why I'm going to ask that question is, first off, well, let's get right into this one first. We'll get this out the way, which is a good thing. And that is the Tennessee Titans have signed their first round pick, Peter Skoronski, the offensive lineman from Northwestern. Got to drink some water there. So Peter Skoronski is under contract. The only one left that is not under contract for the draft class is Will Levis. He is the only one that is left unsigned. The only one left that has not yet signed his contract, his rookie contract. Everybody else is under contract, and we're good to go on that. I believe his cap hits are going to be like around 3.5, 4, 5, and then 6 million after those 4 years. And then, of course, he'll have a 5th-year option that you could pick up as well. And so he is signed. He's getting work at left guard and at left tackle, but more so looks like he's going to be the starting left guard to begin the season, but could definitely be a guy that if he has to swing out to tackle, I don't think he'd have a problem going to tackle at all. I honestly don't see that being a problem for him being able to go to tackle if he had to do that. So I like that Peter Skoronski is taken care of. Peter Skoronski is locked in. And now we got to get Will Levis locked up. And then we'll have our entire draft class in tow. So shout out to Big Skoronski for getting that done. Now, the first piece of news, and I'm going to get to your comments in just a moment. We got this news earlier, and I appreciate Derek Roberts for the super chat. I definitely do appreciate that. I know we got Lou Man up in here. I know Kent, you tried to call me. I was right about to go on, so that's why I didn't answer the phone. But DeAndre Hopkins is released. I see we got Johnny Bell. We got AZ Mick. We got the right hand of Titans and Truth, the supporting the main lady behind the one known as a Truth, and that is Sunshine Lavender. How you doing? And so we're about to get into this. DeAndre Hopkins gets released by Arizona. I believe this happened on Monday. I believe that happened on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. When it comes to that, I'm actually going to confirm that. But I want to say, I believe it was Monday when he was released. 5 days ago. So that happened on the 26th On the 26th, DeAndre Hopkins was released from the Arizona Cardinals. That was on Friday. That was what that was. So he was released on Friday and, of course, made official through the NFL yesterday. So he is officially a free agent. And so, he can sign with anybody. And, one of the things that he mentioned is that he wanted a stable organization, a good quarterback, a good defense. And so of course, a lot of people thought, he obviously would want to go to like Kansas City or Buffalo or Philadelphia, so those top teams, because he mentioned on a podcast some quarterbacks he would like to have throwing him the ball. And, he mentions Josh Allen. He mentioned Lamar Jackson. He mentioned Patrick Mahomes. He mentioned Jalen Hurts. Of course, the obvious names. He mentioned the obvious people. He even mentioned, and sometime later, he mentioned, I wouldn't mind reuniting with Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. He mentioned that. Somebody he did not mention was Ryan Tannehill. He did not mention Tannehill. He did not mention, the Tennessee Titans being a team that he wouldn't mind going to, although he does have a lot of respect for Mike Vrabel. He's definitely a Vrabel guy, and that is where I think we could have an advantage in trying to recruit him. You don't have to give up any draft capital or anything like that. There was a possible trade that looked like it was in the works between the Titans and the Cardinals for CJ Stroud that would have involved DeAndre Hopkins, but of course that got destroyed thanks to Houston. So, Houston, of course, completely ruined that chance. And y'all excuse me, I'm just sharing the show out to everybody and stuff like that. So, I think the fact that you have Mike Vrabel, who was a coach when DeAndre Hopkins was there, so he got to see him firsthand. Tim Kelly was the offensive coordinator for one of his best seasons where he had 104 catches that year in Houston. Of course, Deshaun Watson was throwing him the ball. But Tim Kelly was the offensive coordinator at that time. So Tim Kelly would know what DeAndre Hopkins liked, what D-Hop likes, the routes he likes to run. He would know how to use him and things like that. So that, would be advantageous for us. Now, and of course, Derrick Henry, they work out together. Now, the only possible disadvantage is you got Ryan Tannehill. The question is, and you have this offense. Now it's a new offense. It's a little bit different. It's not exactly the offense that Todd Downing ran, which I overheard on A to Z Sports during an OTA report. They said they plan on running a lot. It looks like they're going to run a lot more empty sets, and the running backs are going to be lined out, split out wide a little bit. Maybe something for Hassan Haskins or Tajay Spears. Maybe not so much for Derrick Henry, but maybe the opening up of the offense a little bit more maybe intrigues D-Hop a little bit. So, I mean, if I'm the Titans, you better be calling trying to get in the race. You better get in the race for DeAndre Hopkins. I would rather we be in the race and it said like, hey, the Titans are one of the teams that is legitimately going after DeAndre Hopkins and we don't get him. That at least tells me they did try. I would rather that happen than instead of, coming to find out, you go to another team the Titans would never mention, and then after the fact, it comes up and says, well, the Titans made a pitch. The Titans tried to put something together, but it never materialized because it makes it seem like that would make it seem an excuse of, oh yeah, the Titans tried but they really didn't try. So that would be something that would disappoint me. I think the Titans need to definitely be in on the DeAndre Hopkins conversation. Although an executive did say, I saw something I believe on Twitter where an executive tweet, was saying that DeAndre Hopkins, isn't as fast anymore or can't get all the separation in the world. I'm like, at the end of the day, as long as DeAndre Hopkins can catch the freaking football, that's all I care about. Catch the damn ball and score some touchdowns. Ryan Tannehill, get him the damn ball. Get him and Burks the damn ball. That was the trouble we had with Julio. And I know a lot of people talk about injuries. DeAndre Hopkins is way more durable than Julio Jones. DeAndre Hopkins ain't coming off of an injury. He had an injury about 2 years ago. Last year he had a suspension, and he still had well over, I want to say, 800 yards. He had over 800 yards and 60 catches, and he only played 9 games. He is a volume catcher. You got to get this man the ball. You do that, you're going to be successful. I mean, this guy had 64 catches, 717 yards, and 3 touchdowns in 9 games. In 9 games, had 64 catches. And he didn't exactly have Kyler Murray throw it to him the whole time. So DeAndre Hopkins could definitely be a guy that could not only be beneficial, but could also help Treylon Burks, who Ryan Tannehill is really excited about, by the way. So we should be definitely in on the conversation. Keon says, go get D-Hop. AZ Big says, D-Hop wants an elite quarterback. Not saying that Tannehill's definitely not elite, but he's pretty good. I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, even though I was done with him, he's still better than most. Keon said like 750. Yeah, 717 yards. Julio couldn't stay healthy. Can we afford D-Hop? Now, that is going to be a good question, Brent. Blue 5, by the way. That is the question. It's going to be about money. We only have about $8 million in cap space. We're going to have to find a way to create some room. That might be either extending Byard or extending Henry. You may have to do something like that. Then you will be able to have a shot at getting a guy like DeAndre Hopkins. But we should definitely be in on the conversation. I want D-Hop. I would want D-Hop in this offense because I think if we're going to open it up more, go more empty set and things like that, I say you get the ball out quickly, especially like Derek said, on first and second down, throw the ball. Throw the ball on first and second down. Because if you do that, you open up the offense and you open up Derrick Henry. Now, the other news, and this is going to have something to do, and this will have something to do with a certain quarterback, and we're going to get to that. News came out that Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, and I'm pretty sure I spelled that incorrectly. Okay, I can fix that. Yeah, I can definitely fix that. I spelled that all the way wrong. Is that Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy G, failed a physical. Of course, he was coming off of an injury and everything, and he signed with the Raiders, but he failed a physical. So that is not very good for the Raiders because, and what has to happen now is that Jimmy Garoppolo has to pass a physical before the beginning of the season. If um, he has to the Raiders did put in a waiver in place of a physical, but Jimmy G is gonna have to pass a physical because if he doesn't pass a physical, the Raiders could void his contract. They could void his contract. He is not going to be he would end up not being a Raider, and the Raiders end up getting that money back, end up getting the money back that they would have given him. So they did a waiver at the time of the physical, but he failed the physical. And what has to happen is that he's going to have to pass a physical before the beginning of the year. And this is addressing his foot injury because he signed a 3-year, $72 million contract. And the Raiders could terminate Garoppolo's contract for any reason related to the waiver, and that Garoppolo will not be paid any of that $22 million until he passes a physical. So if he doesn't pass a physical before the beginning of the year, if they want to, they could, void that contract. They could void that deal, and they could void the deal and get out of that 3-year, $72 million contract, and they don't have to pay that $22 million to Jimmy G. Why do I say this? Because that could open the door for a Ryan Tannehill trade. It is very possible. Because if for some reason Jimmy G cannot pass the physical, Ryan Tannehill is going to look like a pretty nice commodity, especially if Will Levis or Malik Willis comes along in their development, which, according to A to Z Sports and my guy Sam Phelan, Will Levis and Malik Willis did not have a particularly good day today in practice, but there are more opportunities for them, and that they could definitely get better. But of course, tomorrow is June 1st. It is that June 1st day where some players could get cut and a bunch more money could possibly be saved. I don't think Ryan Tannehill is going to be one of those guys. So, I mean, right now, Tannehill, is being talked about as a potential trade target to the Raiders. And we still have to watch out for the Atlanta Falcons, too. So we're definitely going to find out about that. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see if Tannehill happens to get traded, if they actually truly end up believing in Will Levis, or if they somehow believe in Malik. And I probably think they'll believe more Will Levis than they do Malik. So that will be definitely something very interesting. Although Sam Phelan did say Ryan Tannehill looked really good today. Looked real good today. But tomorrow is that June 1st date. I doubt they're going to cut him on June 1st. We're definitely going to see if something happens after tomorrow. There's definitely going to probably be maybe a little bit of action that happens. So, definitely going to be very interesting to see. And Derek says more quarterback battle updates. If I get anything, I will let y'all know. Absolutely. Let's see. I see Derek and Titan Fox is talking. Tannehill will bounce back this year. The draft of the 11s will make him better. He knows he has competition, and this could be the last year. This may be the last year for Tannehill. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all of this plays out. Derek says, if we don't go after D-Hop, then I'm guessing we want Burks to be triple teamed the whole game. I mean, he would get triple team. I mean, that could open up Chig. That could open up Wiley. That could open up Phillips. But D-Hop being there would be a little bit better. Ty Fox says, we didn't have the worst offseason. That was just ESPN showing that he doesn't pay attention. He said Seahawks were going to be last place. I mean, a lot of the people at ESPN don't pay attention. I mean, we talk about ugly, stupid Meshawn Johnson all the time. That idiot doesn't pay attention to the Titans, but he acts like he knows so much about this football team when he really doesn't. So, I mean, you have those critics. You definitely have those critics. Brandon says, what do the Raiders have to offer? That is another good question. What do the Raiders have to offer? I'm trying to see what draft picks they may have in 2024. Trying to see what they might have. That would be a very interesting part of it. I think the Titans would definitely try to get some draft capital. They have all of their picks in 2024. They have all of their picks instead of their sixth round pick, which they gave to the Patriots. They have I think I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see if I can find out. But I think they definitely have a seventh round pick in this part. But they definitely have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. At least I know that for certain. So they do have their first 5 picks, and then they may have a player or two that could possibly be available. I don't know who could that definitely be. Could the Raiders be that desperate? I think if this goes back with Jimmy Garoppolo and the season's about to start, yes, because they wouldn't have a quarterback. Derek Carr is gone to New Orleans, so they would not have a quarterback. Like Derek Rob said, if only we had a Pro Bowl 5th-year wide receiver to mentor Burks. Oh wait, yeah. John Robinson was dumb enough to trade that guy. Yeah. Unfortunately, that guy is in Philly right now wearing number 11. We know who we're talking about here. So, Ty Fox said, the Raiders are pirates. Let's take their booty. So let's take their treasure, so to speak. I definitely like that. Definitely like that. But Ty Fox says, do you believe in Levis more than Malik based on what you've seen? Oh, that's a very good question. I think I'm in wait and see mode right now. As far as that, I'm not really ready to put my prediction out on that. Right now, I still believe in Malik. Right now, I think I would probably say Will Levis. Maybe I believe a little bit more in Will Levis than Malik at the current moment. And again, I say at the moment, but I still want to give Malik a chance. I really do. But at the end of the day, the question that we all come back to is, with the possibility Tannehill could be a trade target for the Raiders and maybe or even the Falcons, and then DeAndre Hopkins released, he's a free agent. The question is, what would be more likely to happen? The Titans sign DeAndre Hopkins or Ryan Tannehill gets traded? Now, let me preface this by saying that in reality, One or the other could happen. Both could happen. Neither could happen in reality. But for the sake of this conversation, you got to make a choice. It's one or the other. We know in retrospect they could sign DeAndre Hopkins and trade Ryan Tannehill. In retrospect, they may not trade Ryan Tannehill or get DeAndre Hopkins. But for the sake of conversation, what do you think is more likely to happen? DeAndre Hopkins getting traded, or Tannehill getting traded, or DeAndre Hopkins coming here? Make the choice. Typhon says, very variable answer. Wait and see. I mean, right now we don't know. I mean, I want to give Malik a fair shot, but again, I want to see a little bit of action. I mean, I think Malik has gotten a little bit better in some areas, but he still has some work to do. And Levis has work to do too. Neither one of them had a particularly great day today, from what I've heard. And, but of course, there's still time for things to get better. So, that's what we're going to have to find out. And that's what we're definitely going to have to, they're going to have to definitely work on. There's probably a lot of people that's going to be down on Will Levis, say, looking at some of the highlights from today, that he didn't look great at all. But, there was a day or two where he looked fine. But then there were other days where he still got work to do. He is a rookie. Let's see. Derek Roberts says, Tanny to Oakland is intriguing. May keep one eye on how Oakland does by week 6. We could definitely see that. Lou Man is not following the rule. He's saying neither. I already prefaced and said that it could be neither or it could be both. But in this instance, you got to make a choice. It's one or the other. The answer cannot be neither or both. It's either Tannehill gets traded or D-Hop gets signed. Which one? AZ Big following the rules. AZ Big says Ryan Tannehill gets traded. Clay says sign D-Hop. Derek says trade is more likely, knowing our luck, plus D-Hop will be a hot commodity. That's true. Lou Man decides to make a decision, says sign D-Hop. Typhon says, does it sound like, is it me or does it sound like an 80s song? I saw the sign, welcome to D-Hop. What's up, D09? But again, the choice is Titans sign D-Hop or Tannehill gets traded. What is the more likely thing to happen? Me personally, I would have to say, if I had a gun to my head, I'm going to say the Titans signing D-Hop. And this is why. They love Ryan Tannehill. And if they wanted to trade Tannehill, they would have done it already. And I think because we didn't get CJ Stroud, it just guarantees that Ryan Tannehill will still be on the team. Now, if the Titans had gotten CJ Stroud with that third pick and the Houston Texans didn't, cheat and mess that up, then, oh yeah, Ryan Tannehill getting traded is definitely going to happen. But again, we don't have a really solid backup quarterback. So, I mean, Will Levis and and Malik Willis still got to learn. And Tannehill might be the best option, as much as I hate to admit it. On Facebook says Tannehill ain't going nowhere. I bet the farm on it. Brandon says if Vrabel is smart, he'll talk to D-Hop. Big Titan TV says sign D-Hop. Justice Lawson says Tannehill traded. Brandon believes he's going to be a Titan. I like the optimism. Ty Fox says D-Hop way more likely than a Tannehill trade. We really are ready to do that yet. Cordero said we have had bad luck with free agent wide receivers. Our best wide receivers are homegrown. Didn't we draft Derek Mason? I believe we did draft Derek Mason. Drafted Derek Mason, drafted Chris Sanders, undrafted free agent Drew Bennett was another. Now, Nate Washington was a free agent wide receiver who was pretty successful here. He was probably one of the best. He's probably the best free agent wide receiver I remember us signing, if I'm not mistaken. But it looks like a lot of people are going with D-Hop. I think signing DeAndre Hopkins is the more likely option over Tannehill getting traded. I don't think Tannehill gets traded. The only way I see that happening is that Will Levis or Malik Willis, one of those two, has to completely blow it out of the park and just super impress Vrabel and the coaching staff to where it's like, we got to start one of these guys and see what we got with them. And then, or unless like the Raiders or the Falcons make an offer that we just simply cannot refuse. And Big Tight TV mentions another guy, Rashard Matthews. I definitely forgot about him. Yeah. Sharp was decent. He was all right, but he was a drafted guy. We were talking about free agent guys. So, Titan Fox said we did draft Mason, but we also drafted Corey Davis and a few other bombs. Only great wide receiver draft pick. Thanks, J-Rob. Enjoy retirement. Exactly. J-Rob is fired because he traded A.J. Brown. One of the main reasons that is. So, Brandon said we trade Tannehill as a rebuild for sure. And I mean, it's true because I read an article where it seemed like it said that the Titans are in rebuilding mode. They just don't want to accept that. And I agree with it. I think the Titans really are in rebuilding mode in a way, but they just don't want to accept the truth. And I mean, I understand that, but sometimes you got to face reality. Sometimes you got to face facts. And I know Mike Vrabel is not one that wants to lose. I get it. I appreciate that mentality. But sometimes you got to understand when it's time to start over. And it's getting to that point. The Titans are just going to try to just milk this out as much as they possibly can until they can't milk it no more. That's what they're doing. And it might be to their detriment doing this instead of getting a jump, like what the Predators are doing right now, the Nashville Predators. They just hired a new coach. They fired the head coach and got a new one. They're trying to rebuild up the team, something they probably should have done 2 years ago. They probably shouldn't have got a new coach last year. Sometimes it's better to be doing something a little too early than a little too late. And I think what the Titans are doing as far as the offense, going to something different, or they're going to have to rebuild, I think they're doing that a little too late instead of a little too early. And that could be the detriment. Brandon says, down to the deck. I know he means dunce of the decade, John Robinson. So, yeah, I think DeAndre Hopkins is more likely to sign than Tannehill getting traded. Not that I'm saying either is going to happen, because there's a chance neither happens. But we're live here on TNT tonight. About to get ready to get out of here. Of course, before we do get out of here, hopefully everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend. I definitely did. Got to do some barbecuing, got to do some grilling with some friends. Definitely sent family some some food, and got to watch some football. And I gotta give a shout out. Number one, I gotta give a shout out to the USFL, to the Memphis Showboats. The Memphis Showboats have won 4 games in a row. They started off 0-3. They made a quarterback change in week 2. They were going with former Memphis Tiger star quarterback Brady White, but he kind of sucked in the first 2 games, and they went to Cole Kelly from Arkansas instead. And the Showboats have ran off 4 straight victories and are now 4-3 on the year. And if the playoffs were to begin, which there are 8 teams in the USFL, the top 2 teams in each division would make the playoffs. Right now, the Showboats would be in the playoffs right now. They have a game against the New Jersey Generals this Saturday, which I will be watching and paying attention. So shout out to the Memphis Showboats for what they're doing. Definitely. Also, the playoffs were happening. Congratulations to the Miami Heat getting to the NBA Finals, even though I lost a bet. I thought that Boston was gonna, pull off the miracle, come back from 3-0 down. I actually thought Boston was gonna have a chance, but they got their butts kicked in Game 7, and so now Game 1 is set for tomorrow night. Nuggets Heat in Mile High in Denver. So definitely going to be paying attention to that. I'm just looking forward to a great series. I don't really have a dog in the fight. I think Denver is going to win the series. I think they could do it I think Denver does it in 5 games. I really do. I think Denver does it in 5. I maybe even give it 6, but I think that they're definitely going to win. I believe they'll win the first 2 games in Denver, and then maybe they come back home up 3-1 after splitting in Miami. Of course, Derek Roberts trying to talk a little trash when it comes to Ja, and I'm like, right now, I'm not thinking about Ja right now. He needs to get help. He needs to get off of social media as he claims he's going to do. Did see that rumor was he unfollowed his boy Devontae Pack, which I hope is true. We'll definitely find that out. But let's see. Brandon said Nuggets in 5. Derek says Heat in 7. We're definitely going to see. I know Lou Man says go Nuggets go. We're definitely going to find out about that. Jacob comes and says, who's going to be the quarterback? We're just wasting the Kings last year. Right now, it probably looks like it's going to be Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. Of course, Lou Man seems like he's a Nuggets fan, saying Nuggets are going to sweep. I don't know. I think Miami gets 1 in Miami, and I think it's Game 3. But I think Denver is very, very hard. That is one of the more difficult arenas to play in, mainly because of the high altitude. So that is always a very, very difficult place to play in the NBA. So I like the Nuggets in 5. Would not shock me if Miami does win it, but I'm going with but I am going with Denver. But I think that's going to just about do it for tonight's show. By the way, Night of Champions, WWE, I got to check that out. I wonder what's going to happen with the fallout with the Bloodline. Jimmy Uso betraying Roman Reigns. That is not that is gonna be something. We're definitely gonna, see what happens there in that story. Also, I know AEW Double or Nothing happened. I did not get to watch that because I was watching NXT Battleground. Shout out to Mello and Mellachusetts, because that was the only fun Boston got to have, was their hometown kid winning. So that was definitely something there. But everybody, I want to say thank y'all for tuning in to TNT tonight again. Everybody, if you are watching this show, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell and hit all on your notifications so that way you know. And again, get in on that Titan fans cruise. I'm trying to see about possibly getting in on it myself. Definitely looking forward to that. So definitely get with that. And everybody, we're gonna get ready to get on out of here. I'm your man Chris, aka Blue Enforcer. Thank y'all so much for tuning into the show. Brandon Blue Fi, I like that with the Mark Henry. Somebody gonna get their butt. Somebody gonna get their ass kicked. Somebody gonna get the wig split. So definitely like that. For the cruise, you can put in your deposit now. Go to TitansFansCruise.com for the cruise information. I got it right there for y'all. TitansFansCruise.com. Or you can call Miss Cynthia Bowen. Her number is at the bottom of the flyer. I will post it again on the page either today or tomorrow. So definitely get in on that. I thank y'all for tuning into the show. I am Chris, aka Blue Enforcer. Y'all have yourselves a very good rest of the night and tighten up, because that's all we know how to do. Good night, y'all.